Was the snow bad today, Washington?
I mean, it was melting. Well, not melting, but it was kind of, it settled. Yesterday was when the snow was very bad.
Oh,
And not very bad. It hit everybody very quickly.
yeah.
So people were not expecting all the snow, I guess. Excuse me. I know there were people that were on 95 and it was backed up for a long time and they basically spent the night in their car. So
Yeah, I saw that. I was wondering.
and that's crazy.
Yeah.
Luckily, I work from home and I can look out the window and see my car down on the parking lot and it's melting nicely, but
Yeah.
I don't have to go anywhere. So.
Yeah. Hello, can you see me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Hello, hello.
Okay, bye. Bye.
And just so everybody knows, I did edit the YouTube from last week. I cut out like the first 15 minutes that people were chatting and stuff because I got a lot of people that were asking, you know, what's going on and this and that. And so not to like kind of beat on Maharaj name, you know, and have it out because people were wondering like, what is this? Like we tune in and so. So anyway, I did edit it. That's the first time since 2017 that I've ever edited a video, because usually it's just from start to finish. Everything we say, everything we do is on there. So I just want to let everybody know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because even, you know, we say discussing the teachings of Sri Ramakant Maharaj as was given, and so we want to keep true to that.
John, can you repeat that first part? I just hopped on.
Sure. Last week there was like 15 minutes of kind of just chattering and stuff and all this. So I edited that part out. This is the first time I've ever cut that because there were folks that put on YouTube comments like, what is this? And some people had emailed who had my email and said, this is not Maharaj. You know, if you come to something for Maharaj, you expect the teachings and the speaking from Maharaj, not the, so.
You don't have to repeat yourself anymore. Yep.
Okay, okay.
I fully support that.
Okay. Good.
I understand why you would do that. I was thinking today, I don't know how to, maybe this is coming from like a somewhat, I acknowledge like a cynical place, but I don't recall, you know, having gone through Selfless Self probably, I don't know, 10 times or whatever. I don't, John, did you ever hear or Ramakant ever address anything kind of along the lines of you know, like suicide or mental illness, or let's say like the seeing through that body identification, but still, you know, I don't know how am I phrasing this, is like that question of like why, you know, like you do the natural, like Ramakant says, like take care of the body, and you know what naturally arises, and I resonate with that. And I guess there's just part of my mind that's like, you know, you see through it, and it's like everything, I don't know, like why put effort into certain things, or you know, or does,
Well, I mean, it's not anti-life,
right?
like this is the knowingness that now, okay, you're formless. All of this is appearing within you. And And therefore, there's no, Maharaj has said in the 5 elements, depression is coming. Okay. Thoughts are coming. Which thought to accept, which not thought to accept is up to you. He did talk to a lady who was talking about mental illness and also a lot of physical troubles and this and that. And by remaining with your selfless self, you sort of transcend that, because you're no longer identified with a mind flow of a specific, like this crazy mind or this or that. I'll give a perfect example. Today, I had on my news feed, it popped up and it said, governor declares emergency for COVID. And so I got on the phone and I said, oh, we need to do this, or we should do this, or we should do that. And I canceled this thing that we had planned in January. And then all of a sudden I was like sitting and looking out the window. And then I went and I said, no, we're going to go back to the way it was and forget about everything I said. So you could sit there and say like, oh, John, he's supposed to be like this. And I even texted a couple of folks. I said, I am crazy as shit, it seems. Because, 1 minute I hear this thing and I'm doing. But in reality, I know there's no deed, no doer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to beat myself up or say even like, John, what would Maharaj say? Or, you have normally been at such a place or any of that. No, this is happening. The body is going through what the body is going through. It was a spontaneous thing that looked like, wow, I've lost my mind. I made this snap decision and sent it out to like 120 people. And then within like 30 minutes, I sent out another message to 130 people and said, forget about that first thing. We're going to keep it the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no disturbance, and there's no beating myself up or saying, oh, that, because like Maharaj says, your body responsibilities have nothing to do with spirituality. The things that the body goes through have nothing to do with spirituality. Spirituality is one thing. I know myself in a real sense. Whatever appears to be appearing is not happening. And yet there's the movement. But you're not involved in that movement.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think Maharaj was talking to this lady who had, she was taking, and there's a video on it, so it's not like divulging personal information, but the video was there. And she said that she had a bad back and she took medication for the back, and that she's addicted to the medication for the back. And is there any hope for her at all in spirituality? And Maharaj said, you must know yourself in a real sense. And then you'll see that, okay, this thing is happening to this vehicle, but I am not this.
Mm-hmm.
Just as Nisargadatta Maharaj said about the cancer. This cancer is happening to this body, but I am not this body. And the I exist, the I am sense that creates this concept of duality and this illusory existence, it's happening to that, but I am not that. I am to whom that appears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that the game continues, but I have no skin in the game anymore.
Exactly. Even though it may appear that you did in the moment.
Yeah, and I completely identify with those moments of being like, I'm crazy as shit, and I feel like, well, what would Ramakant think? Or like, feeling like I progressed so far in certain areas, and then just in the game of life, just having these very childish emotional reactions because of, whatever conditioning there is or lack of, or what the case may be. And I guess it kind of takes the drama out of the story. I guess, like you said, like you could continue just being like, well, that means I did this one thing, so therefore I'm a piece of shit, and it connects to all these other things, but you just don't tell the story.
Exactly.
Why do it? Like,
exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Literally like watching a drama on the TV. I'm playing this role as John for a time. Look at all this crazy stuff John's doing. But there's a knowingness that John is just an appearance.
Mhm.
I know myself in a real sense. This can't be crazy mind, can't be, all do this, oh, this goes that way, this goes that way. It cannot be. And this I am, that you are. Just I, just I.
Mhm.
And the problem is when you identify with the actions and you say they're my actions, they're my doing, and oh my God, how am I going to look to the people? There are
Yeah.
no people, there is no deed.
Mhm.
So that's why Maharaj says, be normal, be simple, be humble, be always with you.
Mhm.
That makes me think of how I can see myself as not being humble, but fortunately, I have the ability to doubt everything. And I was just noticing today how important a part of my life doubt has played. Whereas most of my life I've been sort of like my doubt has been suspect of not serving me. That my doubt about things, doubt about myself, has made my life harder or something. But actually, I was seeing that doubt actually has served me quite well in getting me to be here, like in discussions like this. And it, but I find that I do trust the guru, and I do trust my presence of being here. And
Your presence is the guru,
yeah.
and it's you.
And then I'm starting to trust that. I noticed that I am trusting that, and that made me feel more at ease.
Yeah, because like Maharaj says, that internal master, trust your internal master. And the internal master is the sense of presence that basically sucks in everything else. Just like I said, okay, I'm doing this and this and this and this and this, and then I just sit. And then all the activity starts to flow like just a natural flow. So there's when you say doubt, to a certain point, doubting until you know yourself in a real sense. And then you just don't doubt that. No matter what is occurring, there's no doubt that I am that.
Mhm.
That's kind of, when Maharaj talks about the conviction. Well, the conviction is, I am formless.
Yeah.
Anything that happens with form is not me. And as far as being humble, it's the most easy thing to be humble when you know yourself in a real sense, because you're nothing. And if somebody says, oh my God, Keith, that was so great. You're an amazing individual. You're so smart and so amazing. It's incredible. And you start to feel that kind of welling up inside you. Well, wait a minute, I'm not Keith.
Mhm.
And the same then goes when they say, Keith, where were your brains today? What did you do? This is the worst thing. Get it together, man. Again, I'm not Keith.
Mhm.
And that's why when Nisargadatta Maharaj says, oh, somebody says he's a great saint, he's not impressed. And somebody says, oh, you're a terrible saint, he's not depressed.
Mhm.
Because to whom are they speaking about? So to be humble is just to remain with your selfless self. And that's why Maharaj says, be normal, be simple, be humble, be always with you. Be normal just means be yourself. And how do you be yourself? You just know, I am that. I am that in which all this is appearing. There are no enemies because everyone is my own self. There are no real friends because all friends, all relations came along with the body and I'm not body. So how can I have friends, truly? There's no family because all relations came along with the body. And then you say, there's no knowledge because all knowledge came along with the body. When you came along with the body, then you started to know so many things. And for a time, it appeared that you were on a spiritual journey, acquiring spiritual knowledge. That was like the egoistic sense of I that wanted to discover its formless nature. So it went through this spiritual journey of acquiring knowledge, only to find out that all knowledge came along with the body, and you're not body. So that's why they say no knowledge is knowledge, because prior to beingness, prior to coming into this body-based existence, there was nothing. You knew nothing. Everything that's occurring within this form-based illusion is absolutely like a dream.
Yes, some teachers use they call it all a story. You know, thoughts are all story, and it's kind of a good way to put it. Sort of helps you see the whole thing as, you know, just being.
Well, you can say that you're creating stories because the future is totally unknown. I mean, all of us know this. The future cannot be known. And yet, due to fear, you'll create a little future story about yourself. Where I'm walking outside, this is going to happen, this will happen, this will happen. And this is just a natural flow of thoughts that you kind of combine due to fear. But be fearless, step forward, know yourself in a real sense. Okay, you know what? This empty mind has no thoughts of past, present, or future. There's spontaneous action in the moment, and that's okay. Because I am not body, I was not body, I'm not going to remain body. So it would be just like those famous basketball players. They're going to the hoop, and they call it in the zone. And they're just dribbling, and boom, they up and slam dunk. Now imagine if during this time frame, they started thinking about each dribble and each step, and they're closer and closer to the basket, and how they're going to make this basket, and how that basket's going to look. They're no longer in the zone, and most likely, if they even make it without somebody, because they're all in their head, no. And it's the same. Your day, you're in the zone, so to speak. You're just moving through. Spontaneous action in the moment. No deed, no doer. No others. No story.
No positive, negative.
No positive, no negative, no mind, no ego, no intellect. Just you are. Formlessly, just being. That's the just be.
And I woke up today, and this happens to me occasionally. I get flashes. It's like a message from beyond my normal mind flow. But I got this flash this morning. It says, "Nothing is real," and that's I don't know, somehow that helped me see that whether, you know, all the stuff that I think is good or all the stuff I think is bad, it's there's I could more easily see that there's really nothing to it. It's just all some kind of you know, construction of the mind, and that's, I guess, you know, then that started to remove my doubt.
Yeah, I mean, Nisargadatta Maharaj says if you want to go to sleep at night and you say, I am the formless essence, I am all of everything, you know, and then you just go to sleep in this way. What you're saying is basically the same thing. You're reminding yourself that nothing is real.
Mhm.
Even the thinker that's thinking this thought, nothing is real, is not real. There is nothing. You are.
So much for the echo chamber.
All the appearances, you're like the space, and the objects within the space are appearing, and you're able to somehow, like a dream, peer inside the space and see what's inside the space, but you forget you're the space, and you believe yourself to be an object within the space, and this is not true. So now if you're just the space, no birth, no death. The objects within the space can be born, can die, they can deteriorate because they're 5 elemental goo getting together and molding. Pigs get together with pigs, make a pig. Dog gets together with dog, make a dog. Man and woman get together and make a baby. We label all these things because in the form-based existence, we have to label because, okay, what is this? A little baby says, what is this? Oh, that's a pig. Oh, okay, pig. And the label is put on. But prior to being this, there were no labels because there were no objects. And there was nothing to know. No knower had been deluded into thinking there were things to know, even the knowledge of existence. There's nothing, just formless. You are. And it's that way now. It's not like, okay, when I leave the body, then I'm formless again. No, you're formless now. And all of these appearances, you are not, because they appear and can be perceived by you. But you're not in this. You're not in that bubble of illusion. Just as a dream. You lay down at night and you're sleeping. A dream world is projected. A dream character is there that sees a dream sky, might swim in a dream river. But you, the dreamer, are not any of those things, and yet you're all of those things because it's all coming from you, but it's formless. There wasn't like a construction site that was built. Oh, dreamland is coming. Before we dream, we're going to create the grass and the sky and we're going to have a little swimming scene. You know, you're not a movie producer. It's spontaneous. And it comes with the knowledge I exist. You're sleeping, sense of existence arises, and formlessly, because now the sense of existence arises, boom, form is projected. But form is not form. It's only the appearance of form. You know this when you wake up in the morning. You didn't construct an entire dream world. Where, how, where did it go? The same is here.
Mhm.
And this is where people can get into then my life means nothing. Well, no, because you get to know yourself in a real sense, number one, if you go on this spiritual journey. And if not, the formlessness would not get to experience taking a bath or riding on a plane or any of these sort of things if it wasn't for the imagination or the consciousness that was constantly creating based on the concepts that were arising in the moment.
So you could say it's sort of a beautiful thing that we get to experience.
Yeah. I mean, even if you go with the concept of being a soul, and the soul, as a matter of fact, I'm going to watch this movie, 9 Days, about these souls that are getting, like, they take all these tests and stuff to come to Earth. It's a very nice little fiction movie, but it seemed cool. It caught my attention when I was channel surfing. And, you know, the formlessness has taken form within the appearance, just as you at nighttime. If you're dreaming that you're a knight in shining armor saving Camelot, you're going to experience this. Now, it's not true, but the experience will seem very real for a time. But when you wake up, you're not going to mourn the knight that you were. And yet the experience at the time was very real. Everything felt real. Maybe there were duels and you were riding horses and all this sort of stuff. And in reality, you may not even know how to ride a horse, but within the dream, you were just riding and you were a knight at Camelot. You wake up, that's gone. When this body-based existence is no more, you are. But you're no longer pretending to be whatever these things are that you may be pretending to be now. But when you know yourself in a real sense now, you know again, like it was said, it's a drama. Look at what this crazy John is doing in this moment without identifying with John. Look at all these things that are happening that are not happening, just as in the dream. Experience fully, enjoy. And don't get all bogged down in, oh, this is so terrible and all this kind of stuff. Oh, very bad things are happening. No. It's a spontaneous drama.
Then it's more peaceful to just see it all go by, I guess.
Yeah, because it's just projection. And you're not the projections. And you never can be. It's not like you're, like for a time you are a projection. No, just like in the dream, you're never any of those characters that you're dreaming in the dream. Even if you took identification with the body in a dream world, you're not that. So you can watch what happens in the dream and experience what happens in the dream and live the dream fully. And then when you wake up, that dream is gone.
So the whole idea of soul, you were interested in this movie, 9 Days. The whole idea of soul is part of the illusion.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and in the movie, it's like from the previews, it looked like they were up there and they're like taking a little test. Do you deserve to come to Earth as a human being and live a life? And it was kind of a cool concept.
Well, a lot of people believe that. They believe the soul has come to learn lessons and learnings until they come to the awareness that there's just oneness.
Well, and even there's no way you could learn anything here, because once this sense of existence is gone, everything that came along with it is gone. There is no knowledge of anything carrying over, because there's nothing. There's nothing to carry over. There just is. There's a formless background on which all of this play is appearing. When the play is over, you know, people stand up and clap and okay, the play is over. That's it.
But a lot of people feel like there's a soul that's advancing in eternity.
Yeah.
Maybe even a group soul or something.
No. There's just one formless presence. And nothing is carried over. Nothing is, no. How? Because then you have to have an individual, and each of one of the individuals, just like in your dream, do any of your dream characters advance or decline? And it's not like they're like, okay, I'm going to dream, and in the dream there's a homeless man one night, and then the next night this same homeless guy with all these thoughts about it being homeless and all that, he's now a king, and he's now moved on to this kingship from being homeless. Oh, that's so lovely. He learned his journey. No. think about this, and it just in even intellectually speaking, you have a dream, these characters come up, they play for a time, dream's over.
Yeah.
But it is nice to see that suffering is to see or to help help myself and others to not suffer all these mental gyrations.
If this arises, then it arises. Just like we were, and Maharaj has said, if you want to share the teachings, share the teachings. It's not but there's no, if you're trying to relieve someone's suffering, then there's a 2-point problem. 1, there's a you. 2, there's an other. And 3, there's a ability to affect the dream, whether it be waking or dream.
As if somebody's doing the change.
Exactly. This is all spontaneous action in the moment. And for you, if you remain formless and in the moment, just, okay, what's in front? This is what I'm doing. Okay, undo this and take this. And everything just starts to happen spontaneously as it is already doing. You're not taking doership of it. There's no good deed, no bad deed, no deed, no doer, no nothing. If you go out and set to crusade, if you want to save the world, know yourself in a real sense. Because then you'll see that nothing's wrong with the world. It's absolutely exactly as it's supposed to be. Because it's an illusory existence. It's a 5-elemental play. And you're not a 5-element. These elements are projected from you. And Maharaj always takes us back. Prior to beingness, so you think, okay, prior to beingness, was I wanting to be a crusader to help people suffering? No, prior to beingness, I didn't know suffering. I didn't know world. I didn't know people. All of this came along with the illusion. Don't get trapped in the illusory thinking, the cycle of illusory thinking, which is there's all these people here, there's a world here, and there's all these things and all this. No, enjoy your existence 100% while you're here, but take very lightly. Forms are appearing and disappearing all the time, creating and destroying, but you're prior to the creation and the dissolution. You will be there for both. Because there's nowhere you cannot there's nowhere you cannot be. You are. And you give the you are to all the things that appear in existence. Just not as this individual, this person that you believe yourself to be. Even the person by now, none of us should think of anything of person. There may be still some hangups that I think I'm kind of a body, but this person should just, it can be seen through. Okay, the person is a bundle of memories, and the repeat of this and the habits that the memories have ingrained because of the sense of being a body and the doer of these deeds and these actions and these memories of having done this. But I'm not a body. So this person, how could I be a person? It's possible that I can think, okay, I'm formless and I'm in an empty shell, and the shell is important to me, which also is not exactly true because you are. Without this shell, you can't, just like a dream character, imagine a dream character. Within the dream, someone within the dream has no body. So how are they going to experience or see the dream? They cannot. And yet you, the dreamer, the dream world is still going on continuously with forms being created and destroyed, created and destroyed, created and destroyed. The dreamer was not affected. There's a zombie apocalypse in the dream. You don't wake up a zombie. All of that, you say, oh, I'm dreaming, and everyone, like a Walking Dead universe is being created in my dream. Oh, no. But you wake up, it's finished, and you were never involved in any of those things. How can you be? And as we start to really even intellectualize the dream, we can see it's the same here. Because it's one formlessness, knowing existence and creating form, whether it be what we call the so-called dream world of sleep, or the so-called waking world of being awake. You are never awake or asleep. And in deep sleep, you don't know your existence. You don't know anything. There is nothing other than you to know, and yet you are very much there. Otherwise, how would then the waking and the sleep state or the dream state come? If you just weren't like, oh, okay, when there's no knowing of myself and there's no knowing of anything other, and I fall off into this void, how do I get back? Well, no, you don't get back because you're never asleep.
Correct. Yeah.
You're never awake. Every state is appearing on your spontaneous presence. You are unchanging. And Maharaj says very nicely, invisible, anonymous, unidentified identity that you are. Except your selfless self, there's no God, no Brahman, no Paramatman, no master, nothing is there. You are not body, you were not body, you're not going to remain the body. Body is not your identity. How you were prior to beingness and how you'll be after leaving the body, that is your reality.